Hello Summoners, and welcome back to another ProGuides video. My name is Nathan Ng, and today we'll be talking about the general state of the game in the preseason, and more specifically, how LP has been working or not working so far. But before we get into that, today's question of the day is, what champion do you think in the preseason is completely ruined? And one last thing, we have a new channel dedicated to Wild Rift. So if you're going to be playing that, make sure you check it out and be up to date on the mobile version of the game that we all know and sometimes love. And now without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So, true to Riot's mission to be fully transparent with their inner workings, Mark Yetter posted this gameplay thoughts dev blog to tell us what has been up with these crazy LP gains, what the overall goals are with the rank climbing, as well as the goals that have been met and Riot is still trying to be in the preseason. As with all these dev blogs, any upcoming work is tentative and subject to change, but they still like to keep us in the loop with these things, and we kind of appreciate that. We'll start with the ranked business. For those of you who haven't played ranked in the preseason and haven't heard about what's going on, basically there have been cases of players gaining very small amounts of LP, like 10 or 12 on their wins, while losing well over 20 on their losses. Obviously, when this happens, people freak out, thinking Riot messed everything up, that Season 11 is going to be ruined, yada yada. In reality, what happened is that division promos have been removed, while the matchmaking algorithm has had some improvements applied to it. With both visible and under the hood changes being implemented at the same time, there have been a few bumps along the way. To explain it shortly, people's ranks were being inflated rapidly, which led to lower LP gains in the short term. The fixes have already been put in place, and the system has been tuned, with everything in order and ready for the start of Season 11 next month. If you remember back at the start of Season 9, Riot implemented positional-based matchmaking, and it was a complete disaster. And it actually didn't even get better when they removed it, because they never actually did a hard MMR reset. As a result of everyone having inflated elo, games were overall lower quality than they should have been in their given MMR bracket. This is especially true in Master Plus. Thankfully, this time around, Riot decided to implement these major changes before the start of new season, giving ample time for testing and adjustments. Once the season does start, we can expect a few changes compared to past seasons. For one, the reset itself will be smaller, causing you to be closer to the last year's rank. No more having to work so hard for your peak, only to be put back into the elo that you spent weeks or months grinding to escape. This change, in addition to the removal of division promotions, could cause a lot of ranked inflation in the early stages of the season. So in order to keep the system accurate and players in the elo they belong, the average LP gains and losses will be toned down a notch or two. All in all, this means that you'll generally climb at roughly the same pace, but the removal of promo series is good for a couple of reasons. 1. Division promos were a major source of stress. The removal of them means no more specifically important and potentially tilting games that can make or break your play session. Second, since promo games didn't actually give you any LP, you could be at 99 LP and have to win 3 games in a row just to roll over 0 LP in the next division. Sure, you gained some MMR, but that's a hidden number. People like to see what they're winning, so with promos gone, you'll feel much more rewarded by win streaking. It's worth noting that division promos are gone, but tier promos are still going to be in the game. The movement from tier to tier is extremely significant and deserving of the hopefully epic games that you play to get there. Okay, so that's it for ranked. Let's talk about some goals Riot set for preseason, which goals have been met, and which ones we're still waiting to see achieved. Priority 1. Overall game health and pacing. Are game length, snowball potential, damage, and other aspects of the game in the right place? Currently, snowball and game length are in the right place, but burst damage was way too high at the start of the preseason. While the changes on 10.24 made it more manageable, it's still a little bit too high, so burst damage will be getting another pass on patch 11.1. Priority 2. Positioning and class balance as a whole. Are classes viable and succeeding in the right ways? As you probably remember, at the start of the preseason, bot lane practically didn't exist. The game was so heavily dominated by tanks, assassins, and AP champions that ADCs and their supports were basically filler units. The only ADCs that were playable were Samara because she's insanely broken, but you can't even play her anyway because of her 75% ban rate, or Jhin and MF who could just go lethality crit. With 10.25 just around the corner, tanks will be nerfed and both ADCs and supports will be receiving some buffs down in the bot lane, so hopefully things will start to level out a little bit. Priority 3. Individual item choice, health, and satisfaction. Is every champion accessing a wide range of choices that was intended, and are builds satisfying and synergistic with each other's playstyles? Short term, yes. Over half of the champions roster falls in line with the goals listed here, with different items being built based on the individual game's needs, rather than there being a generally OP cookie cutter build all the time. However, there are definitely still some cases where some certain items are overtuned and are just always the best choice on a champion. The first few patches in the spring should help you target those, giving you some more items and champion shifts to be better utilized in the new system. Alright, that is all we have to talk about from this dev blog. I hope you enjoyed this video. While knowing these things don't really affect how you play League, we think it's important to stay informed, and personally, I think it's really awesome that Riot is so transparent about what's going on internally. Remember to let us know what items you think has had it the worst with the new items down in the comments below. I can't wait to see back from you in the next video, but until then, good luck on the Rift, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day. Peace.